On this Valentine's Day, a twist on the typical love story, but a story about love nonetheless.
In a nation divided over race relations and immigration, there is a Treasure Valley man who deeply understands both issues. And yet, instead of debating the topics, he's taking an entirely different approach. It's one he hopes others can learn from.
Okay, now remember, we're in the second half, so we're switching sides.
When Pete Colson steps on the court, he uses a typical referee tool.
Wait,
And a not-so-typical one.
we're here to save lives and help children make wise choices. We can help the process or hurt it. The choice is yours.
The Lifesavers are part of Pete's mission to teach compassion and acceptance, two traits he learned from his own unique childhood.
This was an outcast group of people.
Pete was born in Salzburg, Austria in the early 1950s, a post-war era when Nazism and segregation divided countries.
One of the biggest issues with the mixed-race kids, they were seen as the enemy.
Pete and his twin brother would never know their biological parents. Their mother left them at the hospital. The boys were sent to a Christian orphanage filled with other children who looked just like them.
Let's see, the oldest boy was Robert, and then Evelyn, then there was Peggy, then Jerry, then Joe, then Wilma, then myself, Pete, and then Fritz, and Eddie, and Betty. I think I've got them in the right order. But between the youngest and the oldest is only 2.5 years.
A white couple worked as the house parents for the orphanage. They bravely defied the racist views around them and treated the children as their own.
I think what they were trying to build in our lives is character. They didn't let our color of skin or a culture affect us, but learn how to build relationships, because to overcome those things, you have to build a relationship.
What they built was a family. And by 1964, Joe and Lee Colson made it official, adopting the 9 children left in the orphanage and moving them to the United States.
They just felt that it was their calling to help us start a new life.
That new life began when the Colsons bought some property in tiny Notice, Idaho. It was not an easy life. The German-speaking children helped their parents run a large dairy.
And I think by bringing us up on a farm, it taught us self-discipline, and it taught us how to work hard, it taught us perseverance.
Qualities that helped the Colson kids succeed. As teenagers, the 9 became U.S. citizens, graduated from high school, and Pete went on to college.
And I think they just wanted to give us an opportunity to become the best that we can be. Well then, here we go.
The longtime referee is following his parents' lead, making sure every child feels valued. Pete says he knows firsthand that's how you bridge racial and cultural divides.
In all these controversies and all these discussions, I think the biggest issue is learning how to build healthy relationships. Because healthy relationship, there's going to be conflict. But you can see through that and see the best in the other person.
Joe and Lee Colson saw the best in a group of unwanted Austrian children. Pete is seizing their example and urging others to also be lifesavers.
Here's one for your wife.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. God bless.
Pretty remarkable story, right?
Wow.
So, and get this, in the last couple of weeks, Pete has found out that he has yet another half-brother and sister. It seems that his mother had another set of twins, and yeah, the story was just as big a surprise to Pete to find out he had other half-brothers and sisters as it was to the half-brothers and sisters.
Great message.
Oh, by the way, hang on.
Do you have a lifesaver?
That's from Pete.
Thanks, Pete.